It's all gone wrong. The world has turned upside down. Here we have yet another Islamic terror attack. Another one. And no one seems to want to find a solution. Now, I'm not going to go over the details of the attack. I'm sure you know everything by now. It's really horrible, including the fact that children have been killed in this. But what I find worst of all is the fact that no one wants to seem to find a solution. We've all just learned to live with terrorism at this point, which blows my mind. It's just, this is exactly what liberals want. I was reading on UG, Ultimate Guitar, a metal band singer called Randy Blythe said that he had went to the store and he heard these two guys joking about the attack, and he was horrified at this. And I'm not surprised, actually, because this is what liberals have been wanting. They've been seeking us to become desensitized to these type of attacks. When Manuel Valls said we have to learn to live with terrorism after the Nice attacks, when Sadiq Khan said terrorism's just part and parcel with living in a big city, this is what the liberals were looking. They've been looking for us to become desensitized to it. And what's worse is they seem to be more focused on who's criticizing Islam more than finding a solution. They're more concerned about what Tommy Robinson has said or what Trump has said, It's like we should be more worried about trying to solve this. And the problem is clearly with Islam. An apologist called Amr Wakaf was criticizing Trump for calling this attacker an evil loser. Listen to what he said. This reflects a sense of denial that the West in general, that the US, and every single state that stepped into and actively destabilized countries in the Middle East like Libya and Syria. They're trying to hide away from their responsibility, basically. He told RT, "We've never heard of Libyans blowing themselves up during the Gaddafi era or when Syria was stable. There were no Syrians doing these things. To say that they're losers, this is about attacking them, attacking their ideology, attacking whatever, and trying to lay the blame on someone else. These countries, the US, the UK, France, whoever got involved, whether willingly or dragged into it, by opportunity or by pressure from their regional allies to try and destabilise the countries, should realise that destabilising such countries is the main reason for all the mayhem that we see and injustice that a lot of people feel. No, screw you. I didn't vote to go into Libya. I didn't tell them to go into Syria. In fact, I'm still against regime change in Syria. I think we should stay out of there. But this thing, this is the globalists. This is people like Hillary Clinton, like Tony Blair, George Bush, Guy Verhofstadt, Jean-Claude Juncker, George Soros, all these globalists, Angela Merkel, they're all in cahoots with this sort of shit. This is their fault, not ours. We, the ordinary citizens, did not decide to go into Libya or Syria or Iraq or Iran or wherever. We haven't actually invaded Iran, sorry, but the point being, we did not decide to go in there and destabilize the Middle East. That was not the ordinary people's choice. And to try justify attacks like this because our governments, our globalist governments, decide what is best for the rest of the world, that is insane. And that particular line that he said, to say that they're losers, this is about attacking them, attacking their ideology, attacking whatever, and trying to lay the blame on someone else. No, we're not trying to lay the blame on someone. It is that attacker's fault. It is his fault that he done that. You don't see Buddhists doing this. We've caused problems, right? Our Western governments have caused problems in countries all over the world, right? I'm going to put my hands up there. And there are people of all sorts of religions outside of there, and they don't come and terrorize the West. So the question has to be, why is it just Islam? But of course, they deny this. For example, Tommy Robinson posted on Twitter, more than 200,000 British Muslims believe suicide attacks like last night is sometimes or often justified. Wake up, Britain. Someone responded with, these extremists had nothing to do with Islam and Muslims. Terrorism has no religion, pass it on. You've got to be kidding me. What do you mean it's got no religion? Where are these secular terrorists? Nowhere. They're all Islamic. Why is that even a point? But this is my point. People are more interested in criticizing people who criticize Islam than they are in finding a solution. Everyone's just went, oh, yeah, this is just part and parcel of living in the city. The security analyst Charles Shoebridge has said a balance has to be struck between civil liberties and need for security in any kind of crowd situation, such as a concert or sporting event, shopping malls or train stations, as all of these targets can result in mass casualties from this kind of effect. Essentially, he's just admitting that we need to hinder liberties, and this is what it's coming to. I mean, let me just end with this, because I'm going to rant and rant all night if I don't. We're basically being told that we are Islamophobic for criticizing Islam, even though everything points to Islam. And what's worse than that is we are having our civil liberties eroded. We are being spied on by the government. We are being taken to court for quote-unquote hate speech and for criticizing the problem, for daring to draw attention to what is causing problems in this world. I'll finish with this. The EU ministers have approved plans to force social media companies to tackle hate speech. What do you think that is all about? That is about basically anyone like Tommy Robinson who tweets anything, who posts anything that criticizes Islam or lays the blame at Islam's feet. They are going to be taken up for hate speech, or hell, I don't know, even I could be charged for this in the future. And you know what? I'll go to jail for it. Because I believe in freedom of speech more than anything. And it pains me to read this. I made my last video there on Germany, and it's basically a sort of control over the EU and how they're pushing censorship on the internet. And there was a proposed bill, I think this came from Heiko Maas, and basically the identitarians were protesting this. It just has to be ratified by the EU Parliament, and then it's an official EU law, and anyone who commits the crime of hate speech, which is a very vague and ill-defined term, can go to jail or face fines or penalties, or, you know, you'll suffer legal consequences for wrongthink. It's so bad. This has been a horrible week, month for freedom of speech, for the West in general. Because, I mean, in Canada, for example, their Bill C-16 just passed completely unamended. It's just, we're done. I think we're done. I apologize for this terribly made video, but I am just in rant mode. I'm just so pissed off that Islam causes this problem. We're told to ignore it, and then we have our civil liberties eroded because of Islam, to protect Islam, and no one bats an eye. No one wants to find a solution. No one wants to do anything about it. This is me venting. If you don't like this video, feel free to give it a dislike, because it's definitely not well organized or well put together, not even well thought out. But thanks for listening anyhow.